Welcome once again to Octane Mobile Gaming with yours truly, iOctane. So I've gone up to the fourth tier of the pack, and as you can see from my draws, I didn't really get much apart from the guarantee cards. So the guarantee relic on tier 3 and the guarantee relic on tier 4, plus the support card and the main card. I was trying to see if I could get one of the gold tickets, because you've got the chance for the first 24 hours to get 2 golden tickets. I was trying to get one. Wouldn't mind if I got 2, but didn't manage to get any. So if you did manage to get a golden ticket, please leave a comment below telling me what you got from your draw when you use your gold ticket. So this week deck is not really a powerful deck, but it's a good utility deck, and I chose to craft it because I've only got one Dark Slayer deck, and it's my fault why I've only got one Dark Slayer deck, because I spent some of my dust on a Dark Commander deck, which turned out to be absolutely rubbish. So this week deck consists of a gem destroying mechanics, which we have seen before. It was the same mechanic on the last Earth Slayer deck, and this one is no different. Now, I've never used the mechanic before in Generation 3. I've used it in Generation 2, so it's my first time using this type of mechanics, and we're gonna have a look at how it actually performs in Legend Trials. So this deck has got a support card which adds 10 Dark Slayer skill point, then attack for 1250% plus an additional 200% per 5 Dark Slayer skill point. If you are below 50 maximum HP, it will spawn a heart power gem free, which can be very useful. Charge rate is 9 and cooldown is 3. It's got a really good passive on it. The passive will increase Dark Slayer attack by up to 40% for 1 turn. So you don't need to get up to 300 skill point for this to increase your Dark Slayer attack by 40%, which is quite good. However, the support card is a warrior, which means it's got a low damage output, and it doesn't heal and it doesn't produce power gems, and it's a new card, which makes it not really a very good card, apart from the fact that it's got a passive that increases Dark Slayer attack. And next up is the main card. So the main card, Stealthy Savage, is also a warrior. So this one as well has got low damage output but really high health. You can see the health, which is 8,174. That's the base stat. And this one will destroy 50 non-dark gems plus 3 additional dark gem for every 30 Dark Slayer skill point, rounded down. So when you get the 300 Dark Slayer skill point, if you multiply the 3 by 10, so that will be, because 30 into 300 goes 10 times, so 10 times 3 is 30. So eventually it will be able to destroy all non-dark gems that's on the board. It will also create 2 Dark Power Gem 2s, and it will cleanse 1 debuff. It will also heal you for 100% of self-recovery per gem destroyed. The passive, if an enemy casts a debuff, it creates an additional power gem, and this, however, is a power gem 3. So this card can create a maximum of 3 power gems, 2 power gem 2s and 1 power gem 3, which makes it not really a magnificent card, apart from the fact that it does the gem destroying. It's not really a brilliant card at all. Your ultra rare is the next card up, and it's an attacker, which is brilliant because it's got high damage output. it will create 4 dark power gem 4s plus 1 additional dark power gem 4 for every 5 dark gems on the board. You've got maximum space of 35, so you can have a maximum of 35 dark gems on the board. So with that in mind, you can create 7 additional power gem 4s with this card if you've got a full board of dark gems. Doesn't matter if it's power gems or just your garden variety dark gems. It will create 7 and 4 11 dark power gem 4s, which is quite good if you can fill the board with dark gems. It's got a passive which at the beginning of every turn, every stack of Dark Slayer skill point moderately increases the drop rate of dark gems for that turn. This skill can stack with stimulus skills. So this is not really a gem fall card, because gem fall gives you a direct number of gems which will possibly be dark gems. So this one, when it says moderately, it can be anything from 5 to 15, probably 25 dark gems on the board. So it won't fill the board with dark gems, but it does have the possibility of creating 11 power gem 4s, which is really, really good. This weak deck is a beast killer as well, and that's partly one of the reasons why I crafted this deck, because as I said before, I want one Slayer deck of each kill skill, and I've got Beast, and I'm gonna check what Bioblitz is in a moment. So this is your Master Collection card, which destroys 20 non-dark gems. So this is a more powerful version of the main card, and this one will destroy 20 non-dark gem plus 3 additional gems for every 30 Dark Slayer skill point, round it down, and create 2 dark power gem 4s, cleanse all debuff, heal for 200% of self recovery per gem destroyed. The passive will create an additional power gem 4. So this card has the capability of creating 3 power gem 4s. In the scope of power gem creation, it's not brilliant. However, it has got heal and it has got cleanse, so it will cleanse all debuff. So the fact that it can cleanse all debuff and it will heal your deck, it makes it a very, very valuable card. So a card is not just valuable if it can create power gems or gems. It's also valuable if it can cleanse and it can heal. So this card is really useful, despite the fact it only creates 3 power gem 4s. It's very, very useful, because a lot of time you're hit with certain debuff. If you've got a card that can actually cleanse all the debuff, it makes it a very, very valuable card. However, saying that, if this card is hit by Toxin, your battle skill will not work. If it's hit with Gem Silence or Power Gem Silence, it will not work. So those are the 3 areas that it's actually weak. Toxin, Power Gem Silence, or Gem Silence will actually make this card absolutely useless. So if you're going up against a boss that has got Toxin or Power Gem Silence or Gem Silence, you need to have an additional card to cleanse those debuffs, because this card will not cleanse those debuffs, because those debuffs actually render this card useless or powerless. So that's your Master Collection card. So Draconic Scoundrel is your ultimate form for this week. It destroys all non-gem on the board, which is good. I like that. It doesn't depend on skill point. It just destroys all non-dark gems on the board, which I love. And create 4 dark power gem 4s plus 1 additional dark power gem 4 for every 5 dark gems that's on the board. It also cleanses all debuff and it heals for 250% of self recovery per gem destroyed. So the combination of the ultra rare battle skill and the master collection battle skill makes this card quite useful, very powerful. Apart from the areas where it's weak against Toxin. It's gonna be weak against Gem Silent and Power Gem Silence again. So again, I reiterate, you need, if you're going up against a boss that costs any one of those 3 debuff, Power Gem Silent, Toxin, or Gem Silent, you need to carry a card, additional card, to cleanse those from your deck. So the passive, if the enemy casts a debuff, create an additional Power Gem 4. So your ultimate form has got the potential to create a maximum of 12 Power Gem 4s, alongside your ultra rare, which has got the potential to create 11, that's 23 gems, 23 Power Gem 4s. Your master collection card create 3, which is okay. It's a bit of a shame. 5 or 6 wouldn't be bad, but 3 gives you 26. So you're gonna need additional cards to create power gems to actually get the full potential of this deck. And the reason why I actually craft this deck is because of this particular deck, the BioBlitz deck. So the BioBlitz deck, for me personally, alongside the Hard Worn Gorillas deck, is the 2 deck in the game that actually keep their value. They were valuable when they were first released, and they're still valuable till this day. The nuke damage on them is absolutely amazing. So I will be running Freedom Fighters and BioBlitz with this particular deck. So how I want to activate my battle skill on this one, I'll go from left to right. So Freedom Fighter first, BioBlitz, then Malicious Mercenary, then I've got a second Malicious Mercenary, and then I'll be using Draconic Scoundrel. However, I'm torn between using the Ultra Rare in place of this Master Collection card, which I probably will do because the Master Collection card doesn't really create a lot of power gems. So it would be much better for me to actually run the Ultra Rare. So you want to actually activate your Master Collection card before the Ultra Rare. So if I put that one there, doesn't really matter which way around these 2 cards go, because the Ultra Rare passively will increase the drop rate of the gems, and that's my setup that I'll be running. So the BioBlitz deck has got, let me see, it's got Immortal Killer. So I've got one copy of an Immortal Killer deck and 1 copy of a Beast. So I'm gonna need 3 more killer skill to actually make my complete collection of the 5 killer skills. So the reason why I created this deck, it's not because it's a really powerful deck, but because the BioBlitz deck is the only Dark Slayer deck I've got, and I've been running it consistently with Beauticious Decay and Soul Reaper. Those are generation 2 cards, so they don't do a lot of damage. Plus, having more than 1 killer skill is really vital. If you can have 5 decks of the same affinity with the 5 killer skill, it would be really, really valuable. So you can mix and match the kill skills depending on the event. So that's what I'm working towards, to have the 5 kill skill on each one of my affinities. So that's your deck for this week. It's not really a powerful deck. Is it one worthwhile getting? If you haven't got a very good Dark Slayer deck and you want a Dark Slayer deck, it's a deck that you can actually go for. Personally, for me, I've got my reasons why I actually craft it. If I had better decks, more powerful decks, I wouldn't have crafted. But as you can see, I've only got 2 Dark Slayer decks at the moment, so it's sense to get it because this deck comes in handy in Legend Trials. So we're gonna fight one of the bosses in Legend Trials, and we're gonna see how well this deck actually performs. So that's a combination that I'll be using, and I'm gonna use 3 keys and we're gonna see how we get on. So with the BioBlitz deck itself doesn't really create a lot of power gems, and that is the reason why I had to be running it with Beauticious Decay, because Beauticious Decay does create quite a bit of power gems on the board, which makes it quite a valuable utility card. As a utility card, it's really good, and along with cards like Thort alongside Grove Guardian, those are some really good utility cards. Those are cards when they come around, they're worthwhile getting. Grove Guardian, which is Habarko, was you could get it for I think 850 gems a few weeks ago. If you didn't get that, if it comes back around, try and get it. It's a really good utility card to have. When Beauticious Decay comes around, it is a really good card to have. Thort was in last season. You could get Thort. Hope you managed to get Thort. It's a really good card to have in your collection. Really comes in handy. So we've totally removed the boss's armor. However, my BioBlitz and Freedom Fighter power battle skill isn't actually ready yet. So there is a passive, so we're gonna go BioBlitz and we're just gonna go across. So there you go. We haven't actually got a lot of power gems on the board. There you go, and it's mostly power gem 4s. And this should actually kill the boss because the nuke from the BioBlitz deck is really powerful. Well, we didn't manage to kill him, but we did take him down from 220. Well, it was over 200. Was over 200 trillion. It was over 2 trillion, and we did manage to take him right down to 186 billion, which is quite impressive. So without the passive skill, we create far less power gems on the board, but it's still really a powerful deck and quite handy to have in Legend Trials. So that's your deck for this week. That's your deck in action. It's, as I said, it's not a very powerful deck in terms of power gem creation. It will deal a bit of damage if you've got a full board of power gem 4s. Most deck will. It's got this week's kill skill, which is quite useful for this week and quite useful in future Legend Trials. As you can see, it really demolished the boss quite easily. And it's a good deck to actually combine with the BioBlitz deck. So should you go out and get it if you've got a powerful Dark Slayer deck already? Moreover, if you've got the 2 killer skill for this week, Beast Killer and Chaotic Killer, you don't need to craft this deck. Keep your dust, keep your gems. You can actually compete in the event quite easily and finish very high on the solo leaderboard, so you don't need to go and get it. However, if you're looking to accumulate Dark Slayer decks to cover the 5 killer skill. This is a beast killer, so if you haven't got beast killer as yet, you can get this particular deck. I think there will be more decks that will come along that have got better battle skills. Hopefully I'll be able to get it when it comes out. But for now, like, subscribe, and as always, is Octane saying peace. Until tomorrow, enjoy your day.